Hi, have you ever worked on something important? A team assignment, a big project, or building your own home? And then you realized everything is slipping out of control. Deadlines are moving, people are confused, everything is chaotic. Have you ever wondered why some projects succeed effortlessly and some of them fail even with some brilliant minds involved? If you are exploring project management because you want to grow your career, gain more knowledge, earn more, or prepare for certifications like Project Management Professional, APM, PMQ, or Prince 2, and most importantly, if you have ever asked the question to yourself, what is a project and what does a project manager really do? If the answer is yes, you are at the right place because in next 10 minutes I will demystify project management in a way that is clear, simple and practical. Before we talk about project management, let's answer the most important question of them all. What is a project? According to the Project Management Body of Knowledge of Project Management Institute, project is a temporary endeavor that's undertaken to create a unique product, service, or result. According to APM, project is a transient endeavor undertaken to achieve project objectives. And Prince 2 says, project is a temporary organization created to deliver one or more business products based on business justification. Looking at the characteristics of the project, projects are temporary. They have a clear start date and a clear finish date, which is properly shown on this project timeline using a Gantt chart. Projects are unique. Projects normally have an objective. For first project, you can see here the objective is to build a home. Three different types of home projects that differ from each other drastically. Similarly, another objective is to create a communication platform, group communication platform. So WhatsApp, WeChat, Telegram, different projects, unique projects, they differ from each other drastically. Projects deliver value. The bullet train project has a purpose of cutting short the commute time of the passengers. Similarly, the vaccine development program for COVID-19 had the major objective of eradicating COVID-19. Now compare that with operations. The repetitive work, the daily operations, the continuous activities that keep the business running, those are operations. At this point of time, it's really important to see the difference between projects and operations. We can do that with some examples here. Establishing a bank is a project. Daily transactions and customer service in the branches are operations. Another example, laying a gas pipeline is a project. But once that is laid, daily you need to monitor, operate, maintain the pipeline. That's operation. One more example. Developing an e-learning platform is a project. Conducting lectures and assignments on the same platform can be operations. Now that the basics are clear, let's dive deeper with a practical, real-life example of a project. Imagine this. You have been asked to construct a home for a family and the duration is 12 months. It should be completed in 12 months' time. Now there are architects, engineers, designers, plumbers, electricians, everyone looking at you and they are looking for directions. And you, as a project manager, are responsible to provide them the directions. They're asking questions like what is the budget? What is the timeline? Who are the people involved? Who is responsible for what? All these questions, as a project manager, you are responsible to answer. So, why do projects exist? Projects exist because organizations and people want change. Every project has a goal, purpose, or objective. Every project has a goal, purpose, or objective. In case of house construction, I can think of various objectives like replacing the old home which is deteriorating with a new one. Another objective can be providing proximity to the city or providing more luxury or more space, more capacity with more number of rooms. Project management is doing everything required using knowledge, skills, and methods to achieve the objectives of the project. The goals or objectives of the project are agreed with the client or the end user who is the owner of the project. These objectives are captured in a scope of work document or a requirement specification. Without project management, a project becomes chaos with missed deadlines, miscommunication, project overruns. What project management does is it brings clarity, control, and structure to the project. Let's talk about the key components of the project. First of all is the scope. Scope is the what of the project. What does the project include? In case of the house construction, what does the house include? Next is the time. Time is the when of the project. When the project is supposed to begin and when it is supposed to end. Remember, we have 12 months duration for this home construction project. Next is the cost. How much is the budget for constructing this house? Next is the quality, ensuring compliance with the building codes, using durable materials, providing safety and efficiency to the satisfaction of the customer. Next, very important, are the resources, the man, machine, and materials required to complete the project. There are various risks on a project that need to be identified, assessed, and mitigated. In case of house construction, I can think of risks such as delays due to bad weather, material supply issues, or even design changes coming lately. All these risks need to be taken care of. Communication is very important. Communication between all the stakeholders, the project manager, the contractors, subcontractors, plumbers, engineers, architects, electricians, and the customer, everyone. The communication has to flow properly. Last but not the least, procurement. It's very important to procure the right equipment for the right job, to have the right people required on the project, and the right materials to be purchased. Let's take a look at 5 main phases of the project life cycle. First is initiating or starting up of the project, where the scope is defined, feasibility of the project is confirmed, stakeholders are aligned, and the approvals are logged in for the project. Second is planning, where design, budget, costs, risks, everything is planned. Executing is where the work actually begins. Next is monitoring and controlling, where the project is actually monitored and tracked continuously for the budget, for the resources, for the planned activities. Last is the closure, where the project is officially closed out. After inspection, all the deliverables are handed over to the customer. Closure reports of the project are prepared, and also it's the right time to get some feedback from the client. Once we get the feedback, the last stage is to write lessons learned on the project. These are the lessons that we learned and the mistakes that we made during the project, and we don't want to repeat those mistakes in next project. So it's important to list down the lessons learned. This is the entire journey of a project from idea to delivery. Important part of any project are stakeholders. This is an individual or a group who has interest in the project or the change, or they can influence or impact the success of this project. In our project, the homeowners, construction company, the architects, the local authorities, neighbors, inspectors, everyone who is involved in the project or has an influence on the project or has an interest in the project is a stakeholder. All these stakeholders need to be identified and managed based on their power and interest on this project. This is called stakeholder management. A project manager spends most of his time communicating with people. He is connecting all those dots between different people on the project. Project manager, he or she defines the scope of the project, selects the right people for doing the job, assigns the team, coordinates the team, gives them the right objectives, manages time, handles communications, solves the major problems on the project, removes hurdles, handles the change management, and most importantly, delivers the project in budget, in time, and with utmost safety to the user. Project manager has to be a multifaceted personality. He needs various skills, including good communication, leadership, planning and organizing, problem solving skills, good change management, and most importantly, staying calm when the surprises happen. As a project manager, you need to be clear how to handle changes. During the course of a project, you might be asked by a customer to provide a bigger kitchen, use better materials, use expensive furnitures. At that time, you should be able to evaluate all such changes on the basis of how they affect the scope, cost, or timeline of the project. After this evaluation, you will either approve or reject the changes using this management of change process. Management of change is a key concept in PMI, APM, and Prince2. As a project manager, you should be able to identify threats or risks to the project early and then assess them on the basis of their impact on the project. Risk can be caused by factors like rain, supply shortages, or delays in the approvals from authorities. Once the risk is identified and assessed on the basis of its probability and impact, the next step is to mitigate the impact of that risk. We normally create a risk management plan where all these risks are listed down with their impact and probability assessment, and in the end, the mitigation for each risk is given. For example, delays due to heavy rainfall is a risk to our project. To mitigate that risk, we need to take a look at the weather forecast of previous years and identify which month there is a heavy rainfall and add those many days to the timeline of the project. This is how we mitigate that risk, and this is risk management. Let's take a look at tools that can be used as a project manager for managing projects. If the project is very small with limited number of tasks and limited number of deliverables, you can start with something simple as a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. With the increasing scale of the project, you need to use tools which have better capability and better functionality. Tools like MS Project are used for moderate size of projects. Microsoft Project is able to handle quite good size of the project, but if the project size is very large, having multiple number of units and each unit having a number of packages and a number of deliverables and a number of people in each unit, so all such mega scale projects are normally delivered using Primavera P6. In my experience, major scale projects, major construction projects have been always using Primavera P6 for their life cycle management. You also need to know the planning of the project. A plan is shown on a Gantt chart, which is nothing but a timeline. It has the activities or durations listed in a spreadsheet, as well as it has a timeline in the columns which shows the days or months or weeks for the project. Gantt chart is nothing but a graph that shows the duration of one activity from its start to end on a graph, on a timeline. Milestones are stages of the project. One stage completed means a milestone is completed. Design completed is a stage, a milestone. Design approved is a milestone. Foundation completed is a milestone. Approvals received is another milestone. Our house is complete only when every part of it is constructed and inspected by the relevant authorities. We receive all the approvals and then we hand over the completed project to the client. We prepare all the closure reports, and that's only when the project is completed. Use simple tools like Microsoft Excel spreadsheet or MS Project to list down all the activities in a project, plan them on a timeline, your personal projects, renovating your own home, arranging family holiday or family wedding, and execute them in a set time frame. To study the basics, I recommend my favorite book, Rita Mulcahy's PMP Exam Prep. When you are ready, pursue beginner certifications like PMI CAPM or APM PFQ, which are for beginners, or for slightly experienced ones, PMI PMP or APM PMQ, and Prince 2. I hope now you understand the core of project management brought to life by using a real life example of house construction. If you want to grow your project management skills, grow your career, or aim for certifications like PMP, APM, or Prince 2, join me and subscribe to my videos. This is just the beginning. Thank you.